Hello, Earthlings! It's time for another album review, this time of the new David Bowie album, Blackstar. It does feel kind of weird calling it a new Bowie album, considering he was alive when it was released, although he wasn't planning on being alive when it was released. Let's go! So on this album, Dave is backed by 5 jazz musicians. He's got saxophonist Donnie McCaslin and his quartet, plus Ben Monder on guitar. Track 1 is the title track. It's got this nice, skittery, jittery drum beat in the first part, and it's quite a mantra-like vocal that he's singing. It's quite Gregorian chant sounding, because his voice is pitch shifted in fifths. Then the music kind of briefly falls apart, but gets back together in a much more melodic type section, which sounds more typically Bowie, if there is a typical Bowie. But it sounds a lot more like the non-jazz Bowie who had all the hits in the 70s. And that section is fueled by Donnie McCaslin's sax section, and later on, I like the way he brings the sort of mantra section back with the center of it all lyric. Great opening track. And then track 2, 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore. It's a lot more upbeat and funky. It's got a sort of ferocious sax duel. The sax is really prominent on this album. Lazarus, as I'm sure many of you know, is Dave's goodbye song. The lyrics are extremely self-aware and autobiographical. It can't really be sung by anyone other than David Bowie, and it can't really be sung by any other David Bowie than the dead one. It's a nice change of pace. It's a lot more down-tempo. There's a bit of build as the sax sort of takes the lead, and then there's a few guitar stabs at the end, possibly signifying the nails in his coffin. Track 4 is Sue. It's got breakbeat type drums, again, like in the first part of Blackstar. It's the first song with a really prominent guitar riff, which Dave's voice sort of floats over. It's got these weird dissonant saxophone and keyboard textures, quite a bit of feedback. Track 5 is Girl Loves Me. It's a halftime sort of funky groove thing. There's no sax on it, and the vocal melodies on here get repeated to the point of near boredom. So this is easily my least favorite track on the album, and Sue is easily my second least favorite. It's not a close second, but it's a clear second. Track 6, Dollar Days, on the other hand, is by far the best one, in my opinion. It's a beautiful ballad. We've got some prominent piano and acoustic guitar, and some electric guitar, which all blend really well with the sax and Dave's voice. It sounds quite a lot like Space Oddity and Life on Mars and his other ballads. It's got that sort of signature Bowie chord structure where it seems conventional despite having a twist at one point. And then it segues right into the final track, I Can't Give Anything Away. We've got a harmonica solo over the intro, as well as some electronic drums. This is the other goodbye of the album. It kind of takes place before Lazarus. This song is kind of Dave entering heaven, whereas Lazarus is him looking down from heaven and assuring his fans that he's in a better place. But yeah, I Can't Give Everything Away is actually the first song with a real guitar solo on it. There's a sax solo in the middle and then a guitar solo at the end. Lots of strings. Having all these solos on the track seems to be Bowie sort of passing the torch to these young, I guess they're young, jazz musicians who will probably carry on his spirit in their own ways. But yeah, it's a great album. I don't know how I would rank it among the other Bowie albums because I haven't really. This is the only album of his I've ever listened to, and really the only post Little Drummer Boy thing I'm at all familiar with. I mean, I've listened to a bit of Black Tie White Noise, but I don't really know any albums other than this. I know a song here, a song there. I know the big hits, well, some of them. But yeah, this is the only album of his I actually know. But it's a great album. Go forth and be awesome.